All right. Well, welcome. 2020 has been an extremely challenging year for many of us in this room. I can honestly say I've never been more proud to be a physical therapist. I've seen such tremendous resiliency from this group. I've seen people work through incredibly challenging and difficult times. I've seen us come together as a profession to accomplish great things. And while we still have many, many obstacles ahead of us, I definitely believe in this group of individuals. I believe in the work that we do as physical therapists, and I truly believe in the profession as a whole. So thank you guys again for taking the time to meet with us today to hopefully achieve a quorum and pass some much needed bylaw changes and to keep you updated and apprised as to what's going on in 2020 and what we have to look forward to during our centennial year in 2021. So. I'd like to call this meeting to order now at 1:07 p.m. As I mentioned earlier, we are recording this meeting so that we may take accurate meeting minutes. As of 11 o'clock this morning, and I know there's still people registering, we currently have 28 non-members registered, 81 PT, and 11 PTA members. As we've mentioned in the chat box, we have a total of 1,462 members, and we would need 73 members present and voting for a quorum. Any vote that occurs today will occur via the Zoom platform using the polling function. And so we'll go ahead and get a written record of every vote that's cast. After we go through the voting, we'll take a look, we'll verify membership status, okay? Make sure that we count every vote accurately, and then we'll go ahead and inform the membership of whether or not we had enough people present and voting to achieve a quorum and what the results of that bylaw vote was. So we'll keep you guys all informed of everything as we move along. Everyone here should have received a membership packet. Krista sent that out to everybody who was registered for the meeting in advance. You guys can reach out to Krista if you don't have access to that membership packet. I can also go to a screen share and go to some different things if we need to kind of access that information if necessary. But first things first, I'll go ahead and move to adopt the meeting agenda. If you guys could take a quick second to look over the business meeting agenda. That's the first page of your packet there. Do I have anybody that would like to move to accept the business meeting agenda?
Gideon Manser here. I move to approve the meeting agenda.
All right, looks like Dr. Ferris is seconding that motion. Is that correct? All right. Anybody oppose the business meeting agenda as written? All right. If you guys don't mind, I'd like to move to, now that we have 92 participants on the phone call, I'd like to move to change the order of the agenda, to move that bylaws vote up, so that if there's anybody that's not willing to stay on, or if we lose anybody throughout the duration, that we may move to do the bylaws changes first and foremost here at this business meeting. Would anybody be willing to make that motion and second it?
So moved. This is
I'll
Peggy.
second it.
Second from Cynthia Driscoll.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. So we've got Peg Hiller moving to address the bylaws changes first and foremost. And then we've got Cynthia Driscoll seconding that motion. As you guys know, our last official business meeting was in October of 2016. It's been 4 years since we were able to pass some bylaws changes. And as a result, we have some proposed bylaw amendments that really do need to be addressed. The first bylaw amendment is on the screen share there. It's also included in your membership meeting packet, but it's a move to basically decrease the number of meetings we have per year from 2 to 1. It's Article 6 meetings, And we would modify the bylaws by striking 2 and inserting 1. The support statement written by the Arizona Physical Therapy Association Board reads, "The Arizona Physical Therapy Association Executive Board feels the mode of delivery for in-person course offerings is changing, and the advancement of electronic forms of communication have decreased the need for regular meetings. The Executive Board believes requiring 1 regular meeting per year will improve attendance and allow for better utilization of resources to improve programming. The Executive Board is not limited to 1 regular meeting per year, may hold more if necessary, but is no longer required to hold 2 regular meetings as current bylaws indicate. A yes vote on this proposed bylaw amendment will require the Physical Therapy Association of Arizona to hold at least 1 regular meeting during the calendar year. A no vote will require the Physical Therapy Association of Arizona to hold 2 regular meetings during the calendar year." One of the important aspects of holding our bylaws amendments in a virtual environment such as this is that we allow members to have the floor to speak either for or against a proposed motion. And so I'd like to take this time to open the floor to our members and see if there's anybody that would like to speak either for or against this proposed bylaw amendment. Members who would like to speak at any time may just simply unmute themselves. Make sure that you announce your name and whether or not you're a member. Non-members are not allowed to speak on a proposed bylaw amendment according to the rules of order. So we just want to make sure that we abide by that. Is there anybody that would like to speak to this proposed amendment?
I'll speak. My name is Ami Greiver. I'm a member. I think that this is, speaking in favor of the amendment. I think this doesn't provide any restrictions. We can have a second meeting later in the future if the need arises, but it doesn't constrain us to having to have 2 meetings per year. So I think I'm recommending that we pass this. So I'm speaking in favor of the motion. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open the poll right now. I apologize. It's saying that I'm currently logged in from another device. Would that be you, Krista, by chance?
Yeah, it was right there and now it's gone. See, where would it be? The little poll icon is not there anymore.
I understand that. I'm getting a error message that says you are logged in from another device. Your polling session is inactive.
Yeah, it showed up on mine, but now it's not there.
Would you be okay with logging out? I'm assuming that maybe we're both logged in under the same user ID.
Okay, I'll do that. Hold
May
on.
have inactivated it.
I'll log out and then come back.
Dr. Ferris, I know you were pretty instrumental in helping me with this earlier. Do you have any advice in regards to the error message I'm receiving?
I see the poll now. Brian, let me see if I can launch it.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, have all you are seeing it? Yes, people are voting now. Okay,
Yes, definitely.
perfect.
My apologies, guys. We did hold 2 practice sessions with this. I'm not sure.
It's always something, man.
Yeah.
You're doing fine.
So Krista, we currently have 98 participants.
I have 78 that have voted so far.
Beautiful.
$80. There's 81 now. If someone has called in on their phone, they probably won't be able to vote.
Correct. They will not be able to vote. Same thing, non-members should not vote. If they do vote, when we go through and vet the responses, we'll go ahead and exclude those votes if you're not an active member. So
We have 82 right now that have voted out of the 96. So some of them may be non-members.
in a quick scan, I'm only seeing 1 telephone number coming up. So
Okay.
The
So
other, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say
Yep.
the rest of them might be non-members that are not voting.
The other category is students, so you have to just exclude students. So
So we're at 82 right now.
beautiful. If everybody's had an opportunity to vote, then we'll go ahead and close that poll. We'll move on to the second proposed bylaw amendment.
Okay.
And Krista, we'll just refrain from sharing those results so we've had an opportunity to vet those.
You bet. So it says relaunch polling.
Nope.
How do you, I don't want to close it. I'll just leave it open. Never mind. We'll move on to the next one.
All right. So the second proposed bylaw amendment is to add the duties of the PTA caucus representative under Article 7, Section 14. The support statement written by the Executive Board of the Arizona Physical Therapy Association reads, the Arizona Physical Therapy Association performed a thorough review of the chapter bylaws in 2020 under the guidance of Peter Zawicki, Bylaws Committee Chair, and APTA national parliamentarians. The Executive Board acknowledges that while the PTA caucus representative has been a voting member of the Executive Board, that the duties of the PTA caucus representative were never formally added under Article 7, Section 14. The addition of PTA caucus representative duties under Section 14 requires a membership vote as a chapter amendment. A yes vote will add the duties of the PTA caucus representative to the duties of the Executive Board. A no vote will not add the duties of the PTA caucus representative to the duties of the Executive Board. All right. At this time, we'll again open the floor to any members who would like to speak either for or against the proposed bylaw amendment. Would anybody like to speak?
I'd speak in favor of it. I see our PTA members and especially the caucus members as valuable contributors to our local chapter and even at the national level as well. And so I'm in favor of this amendment.
Thank you, Jefferson.
Jefferson Holm, PT member, sorry.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak either for or against the proposed bylaw amendment?
Yes, I would. Can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Valerie Bushline. I'm a physical therapist assistant, and I just want to say I am in support of this, and also thank you for the inclusion of the PTA in our bylaws. I greatly appreciate it. Jefferson, thank you so much. It means a lot to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. Anybody else like to speak either for or against? All right, let's go ahead and open that poll, Krista.
Okay. Just want to make sure this is the right. This, it's still showing the polling one because I'm not sharing results. Or I'm gonna try this, relaunching.
Don't relaunch.
Okay, don't relaunch. What is this?
I
section?
actually think, this is Lori Bordenave, PT member. I think, Krista, you actually have to share the results in order to have it move on to the next poll.
That's what I thought. So what would you like me to do, Brian?
Go ahead, we'll proceed.
And then
So
I think-
now, two options, relaunch polling or stop share results. And I did do a took a snapshot of that poll already, just so we had it, just in case it takes it away.
Could we call those results preliminary until we have the chance to vet all those votes and make sure that they're only members who are voting? Even though it looks pretty overwhelming, I think just for accuracy of reporting. This was Ami PT member.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any opposition to that, as long as you guys know that we're gonna go ahead and vet those results and we'll release the final tally to you guys. So, Krista, let's proceed with the second bylaw amendment.
Okay. Here's the second one. Nope, this is the same one. Why doesn't it show? Oh, wait. I got it now. Okay.
So Krista, you've now launched the second poll? Perfect. Again, once we have the required number of votes and you feel like we've gotten everybody that needs to vote, we'll go ahead and close that vote.
I'm at 78 right now that have voted.
If anybody's getting an error message, go ahead and just send your vote to Krista privately. I believe it looks like maybe just one person, hopefully. And then Krista, once you've received what you feel to be the appropriate number of votes, we'll go ahead and close that. You're muted, Krista.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I have 79 right now, and that's what I've had for the last like 15 seconds.
Beautiful.
I actually won't have to share the results. There's a little Dropbox and I could put the next,
Yep,
yeah, so we're good.
yep, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward to bylaw amendment 3. And bylaw amendment 3, Article 12, Finance Section 3, is a proposed bylaw amendment to add a new category C. The support statement from the Arizona Physical Therapy Association Executive Board states that the Arizona Physical Therapy Association Executive Board wishes to participate in APTA National's Early Career Dues Discount Program. The Early Career Dues Discount Program enables early professionals who maintain their membership through graduation to receive a 50% discount on APTA dues for the first year post-graduation, with additional savings the next 3 years. The second year post-graduation, 40% off national and participating chapter and section dues. Third year post-graduation, 30% off national and participating chapter and section dues. Fourth year post-graduation, 20% off national and participating chapter and section dues. This chapter bylaw amendment will allow the Arizona chapter to participate in additional membership dues programs in the future, and only allows the executive board to participate in programs which offer reduced chapter membership dues. A yes vote will allow the board of directors to offer reduced rates for chapter dues. A no vote will not allow the board of directors to offer reduced rates for chapter dues. At this time, I'd like to again give anybody the opportunity to speak for or against the proposed bylaw amendment. Would anybody like to do so?
Yep, I will. As previous president, immediate past president, as well as a PT member, that's wants to encourage new professionals to join the association and stay as members of the association. This is a pivotal program in which I think we need to take advantage of. So I speak in favor of this change.
I would like to speak.
Go ahead, Susan.
My name is Susan Blum, and I am a PTN member and a APTA life member for 45 years in the APTA. And in the first few years that I was a member as a new grad, most of my peers did not join the APTA because of having student loans, etc. And I think this is an excellent idea to encourage them to jump in from the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Susan, and thank you for your dedication to the profession. We appreciate you. Would anybody else like to speak either for or against this proposed bylaw amendment?
This is Giovanni Leone, PTA member. I'd like to speak in favor of it as well. Whenever I speak with people regarding why they're not members of our association, typically cost is the first thing that comes up. So I completely agree with the other statements of, if we really want to grow our association and get more members involved, this is a great one to pass.
Thank you, Giovanni. We appreciate that. Anybody else with any additional feedback? If not, I'd like to go ahead and ask Krista to move forward with the third poll option. And then Krista, whenever you feel you have the requisite number of votes, go ahead and let us know and we'll proceed with the remainder of the business meeting.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end the polling for this. and then we can proceed.
Right. Well, I would certainly be remiss if I didn't acknowledge both Peg Hiller and Phil Tygell for all of their support and assistance with creating these bylaw amendments. I cannot thank you both enough for your support and guidance, so thank you. I know a simple thank you does not do enough, but you guys have been very, very supportive and very instrumental in getting this done the correct way. So thank you both. We'll go ahead and move forward. Thank you all for allowing me the privilege to move to the order of the agenda. We'll move forward now with the remainder of our business meeting. As I mentioned, this year was a year full of excitement. We had the opportunity to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Arizona Physical Therapy Association this year, the 50th anniversary of the Physical Therapy Assistant. We were supposed to host a national conference in June, as well as the House of Delegates. And unfortunately, all that changed, you know. This has been a challenging year for many, but it's certainly a year in which we've learned a lot, and we've definitely come together as an association and as a profession. So we started off the year very, very strong with PT Day at the Capitol in February. Our state governmental affairs co-chairs, Cynthia Driscoll and Kadeen Manser, organized and executed a wonderful event. I'll allow Kadeen to speak to that a little bit further in the future. We unfortunately had to cancel our May celebration of the 70th anniversary of the Arizona Physical Therapy Association and the 50th anniversary of the PTA. We hope that we can acknowledge those celebrations and milestones in future events once we're all able to gather in person again. June, we were supposed to have Next hosted in Phoenix, Arizona. Unfortunately, that event was canceled as APTA moved to a virtual environment for everything. We pivoted as an association. That seems to be the buzzword of 2020 this year. And went to all Zoom conferences. We've had the opportunity to host several Zoom conferences this year. It's given us an opportunity to connect with our PT and PTA colleagues, get continuing education units, and we are very, very appreciative to all of our district reps for the work that they've put in on that front, to Krista for learning new technology and helping us be successful in the virtual environment. And to all of you for attending. We've had great participation this year. It's allowed for further collaboration amongst people across the state, and we're just really excited about the potential moving forward. So this year, while it didn't work out the way we wanted it to, has taught us all a great deal, and we look forward to 2021, the centennial celebration of the American Physical Therapy Association, with great hope and optimism. And we look forward to everything that we can accomplish on your behalf. So thank you to all of our members. Thank you to our executive board. And thank you to all of you for making that possible. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Kadeen Manser, our treasurer, to review the treasurer's report and financials for year-to-date 2020, as well as our 2021 budget.
Thank you, Brian. All right. So this year, we've actually been doing much better than anticipated, partly because of the cancellation in in-person meetings and reduced travel expenses. But first, we need to approve the 2021 budget in principle. It was part of the packet that was sent out to those who had registered immediately before the meeting. I will give you a few minutes to look over that. If there are any line items that you have questions about, please let me know. Voice them now. Is anyone seeing anything that is concerning or questionable? And there is a full explanation that I had written up after our finance committee meeting when we determined the budget numbers to explain why we reduced the amounts that we did. If no one has questions with the budget, we can go forward.
Kadeen, this is Jim Ferris.
Yeah, Jim, go ahead.
I didn't see it in there, and I may be wrong, so, John, y'all, you can correct me. I thought at one time there was some support for Special Olympics Arizona, the Fun Fitness program that is developed by the APTA. Like I said, I could be wrong, and this might not be the time to bring it up, so you can smack me around if you want, but I'd like to advocate for that. If not now, in the future.
Jim, you are not incorrect. It is not a line item in the budget, and I'm not entirely sure why or where it was left off. But we can discuss in new business reopening that as a budget expense.
Okay, good enough.
I'll add to that conversation. Dr. Ferris has previously asked, and it has appeared in multiple business meetings that we've had through the executive board on supporting Special Olympics. But Dr. Ferris, we did not attach anything to that. So Dr. Ferris, do you feel like there should be a certain amount when we bring that forward in new business?
I do. I don't know what's appropriate. I have a number in my head, but I'll bring that forward in new business and we can go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This is Cynthia Driscoll. The line item under public relations has an item for projects. In the past, has that included the Special Olympic participation?
Cynthia, historically, that has been a placeholder for PR projects. We've ran ads on radio. We've done other special PR projects. Certainly, we could use that line item for this type of project in the future, but it has not been historically reserved specifically for this Special Olympics project.
And I would like to point out that the PR line item for next year will be dedicated to the Centennial Scholar Program.
Any other questions for Kadeen in regards to the 2021 budget that has been agreed upon in principle by the executive board? All right. Kadeen, do you mind just discussing statement of financial position and 2020 year to date?
Yes, absolutely. So 2020 year to date, the good news is we are positive in our cash flow this year, even though we had a budget deficit anticipated. So we're doing better financially than we anticipated at this time. Our statement of financials, again, that shows that we're in the positive, and our investment accounts have rebounded very nicely. And we're actually quite a bit ahead of where we were at the beginning of the year. I think that is a pretty phenomenal statement considering the way this year has gone. I think as we continue to have strong returns and strong membership investment, that we should be able to expand our budget next year, make up the anticipated loss, and continue to operate very easily. Are there any questions for year-to-date budget?
All right. Thank you very much, Kadeen,
Yep.
for presenting that. Just to give you guys a little bit of historical background, at the height of the coronavirus pandemic, APTA National was recommending approximately 30% decrease in revenue for next year. That's starting to look a lot better than that, but the reason we made such drastic cuts to the budget was to reflect that potential decrease in membership revenue dues. So we're hopeful that with your support and the support of our members, we'll have adequate funds to cover everything for next year, and we'll be able to expand those budgets again moving forward. So your membership is important always, and probably now more than ever in terms of the strength of the association. So thank you all for your help there. We'll move on to Krista Lombardo for the Executive Director's Report.
Hello, everyone. So I sent out a written, but some of you come on today didn't get the packet. So our membership from January to September is up. We've got 332 new members. 34 are PTs, 17 are PTA, and 281 are students that have come in. Let's see, I have new to the APTA and components is 15 PTs, 10 PTAs, and 237 students. And then one where they've come in, the new to component, which is Arizona, is 9 PT, 1 PTA, and 10 students. So 58 of them are from out of state that our new members that we've gotten. Our total membership for the state is 2,054 right now. And we have 219 that are from out of state. I put in here our dues that we've received, kind of a comparison from 2019 to 2020, from January to September, and the difference that we're in the, I'm going to say in the red, which we're not really, but it's $16,019. So we still have October, November, December to possibly recoup that revenue. Our districts have done a really great job of putting on webinars, and we've had a really good attendance in those. And we've got a couple events that are coming up that aren't district webinars. It's the Arizona Physical Therapy Directors, and I've been promoting that via Facebook, sending out scheduled emails for them. And also we have a student SIG PT Pub trivia night that I'll be promoting that, which will be a lot of fun, kind of, it's virtual. And then the student SIGs also have a fun run that's not virtual, obviously can't be virtual, but that you would do it on your own. And then it's kind of a participation between, I think, October 30th till November 4th or 5th, something like that. So we've had a lot going on, even though we aren't holding a physical meeting. The webinars have really, I think our membership is really appreciative that we're holding these. And I like that with this meeting here where we can see everybody. With the webinars, you only see the presenter. So that might be something we think about, having more participation with the members. Does anyone have any questions for me? Okay, I'll give you the floor again, Brian.
Thank you very much, Krista.
Sure.
I'd just like to acknowledge, because Dr. Roush is too humble to do so himself, but all of Dr. Roush's contributions to the House of Delegates. He was incredibly busy this year, And Blair Packard is going to present his chief delegates report. So I'll turn the floor over to Blair, and maybe he can acknowledge all of what Jim's been doing to help with the association and the House of Delegates.
Thanks, Brian. Glad to be here today. Jim could not make it, so he's asked me to give his verbal report. There is a written report from Jim that's in your packet on page 12. You can refer to that for details. Yeah, I second Brian's comments about Jim. He's been a very active chief delegate. He's chaired the Western Regional Caucus this last year, which it requires a lot of organization as we kind of pull these Western states together and discuss motions and candidates and other things. But he's passionate. He does a great job. He has one more year as chief delegate. Arizona, as usual, has been active at the House. We've had various motions that have moved the association forward. One that typical of our history was created some controversy this year was to take a look at the concept of the House, the relationship between the House and the board. And we wanted to simply clarify something in the standing rules about what a directive is, and that created a lot more challenges and problems than we ever thought. And so that issue goes on as we take a look at the bylaws. There's a special committee on bylaws was created a couple of years ago, and or 2 houses ago, and they will present their work for final action in the 2021 House. They're holding listening sessions now. Those started just the last couple of weeks, and they've been doing those with delegates, with chief delegates, with former board members, with former speakers and House officers. So these have been occurring like 3 or 4 different listening sessions almost every night. And it's not going to be an easy process. Those of you who have ever experienced this in the past, when you take a look at a thorough bylaw review, all these pieces fit together, and so you have to make sure they work. And what often will happen is that they'll present motions one at a time, ad seriatim, and delegates will vote on these motions. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the whole House will have to approve the bylaw changes in whole by a 2/3 vote, and that's not an easy hurdle. And so the delegation this next year will be going through lots of discussion about the bylaws. And for those of you who are bylaws junkies or policy junkies, don't hesitate to enroll in the hub, the House hub process. The only people who participate on that are delegates and alternate delegates, but there's going to be other mechanisms available. And I think that the special committee has already opened up opportunities just in the next 2 or 3 weeks for all members to comment on bylaw changes. They shared what they call a bylaws concepts document that is available. If you don't have that, write to me or write to Jim and we'll send you that concept. There's about 38 or 39 concepts that they're looking at right now as far as potential new language. And you can have opportunity to comment those, any member can. Looking forward to next year, in addition to that, Arizona already has a couple of motions in the making. Seth Peterson has been working on a motion, and the current draft, I'll just read it to you, that the APTA recognizes that the abuse of productivity and performance standards in physical therapy can contribute to lapses in ethical behavior, increase clinician burnout, and prohibit provision of high quality care. The APTA supports productivity standards only when they are realistic, respect clinical judgment, and prioritize patient and clinician well-being. So that's the current draft that Seth has produced. And we'll have further discussion as that goes forward. Another motion that I've been working on in conjunction with Linda Arslanian from the Massachusetts chapter, and this would be a joint Arizona-Massachusetts motion going forward, would be to revise the bylaws around ethics and professionalism. We would elevate the function of the Ethics and Judicial Committee divide its responsibilities down the lines of promoting ethical principles and standards, and then also the adjudication aspect of it. And we would bring back a chapter ethics committee, which we don't have now, with a role in both the promotion of ethical standards and adjudicating cases, and would make the ethics and judicial committee visible and accessible as consultants to the House. So right now, consultants to the House, but they are essentially behind a firewall from the board. And so that would change if the Arizona, Massachusetts proposal would go forward. We're going to post a concept on the hub just this next week, and so you'll be able to take a look at that, and that'll be refined as we go forward. So let me just ask if there's any questions or comments or suggestions for the delegation. We're anxiously waiting to see what the elections come up with as far as new delegates, but they'll get together sometime this month to start the process of looking forward to next year. Any questions or comments?
Blair, this is Peg Hiller. I really applaud this combined Massachusetts-Arizona concept motion in letting ethics pervade from the top down, necessarily try to seep from the bottom up. I think it's an interesting look at enhancing the role of, ethics and morality in PT practice, which is what you're doing if that becomes a major focus. So I like that one.
Thank you. I think you'll like the concept when we get it out there. If you've been around the state board and that chapter both and had your feet on both sides of those areas, you'll appreciate this motion. And you have. All right, thanks, Brian.
Yes, sir. But Blair, I'm not sure I have the words to adequately express our most sincere appreciation for you. I know you won't say anything, but I know this is your last go in the House. You did not run for re-election. But Arizona historically has one of the strongest delegations, and I think it's because of leaders like you. So I hope I can do you justice in this tribute, but thank you so much on behalf of the association for everything that you've done on behalf of the Arizona delegation. We truly appreciate your service, sir.
Well, thank you, Brian. There's a long history of that tradition in Arizona, and I just simply stood on the foundation of a lot of other people who came before me.
Well, we're going to miss you, and we appreciate everything you've done. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll turn it over to Kadeen for an update on state government affairs.
Thank you, Brian. Much like everything this year, we started out the year with a bang. We had lots of enthusiasm and great support. PT Day at the Capitol back in February. We had Dr. Bob Nithman present on telemedicine to coincide with the telemedicine bill that we're working on with our Arizona Ability Alliance, combining AT, OT, SLP, and audiologists with the PTs. The bill was moving very well, passed the House unanimously, got to the Senate, and sat there while they recessed due to the COVID restrictions. And then once they adjourned, they had not voted on it. The good news was that we managed to get an executive order written that gave all of these professions, including chiropractors, they kind of jumped in at the last minute, temporary permissions to perform telemedicine, as I hope you're all aware. But I'd like to remind everyone that that permission is only valid as long as the emergency order is in effect. So going forward to next year, we will revisit the telemedicine issue. And all of the other professions have already voiced their support in continuing the fight and trying to get this bill pushed as quickly as possible. We've also discussed the possibility of getting an emergency action clause, which means that it would go into effect as soon as the governor signs it, if we can get that done. The other issue we want to revisit is concussion management and return to play permissions for PTs. In the past, we had gained the permission to enact a pilot program. Unfortunately, that pilot program never took off, and there seemed to be no interest from the entities tasked to enact that pilot program to move forward with it. So hopefully we can use that lack of concern as a motivating factor to allow us to push our rights to make these decisions for athletes, especially in the rural settings, which is where we're focusing our efforts. Also on the horizon, we have discussed the possibility of researching an expansion of our permissions to provide DOT physicals and order imaging. I know these are two very big hot button items for some people. So we're going to start the process of floating these ideas to stakeholders, identifying opponents that we're going to have to either schmooze or fight, and then strategizing for success. So if anyone has input for or against these issues, again, DOT physicals and imaging prescriptive rights, please reach out to me directly and we can start adding those comments into our plan. Thank you.
Any additional questions or concerns for State Government Affairs Chair Kadeem Manser? All right. We'll go ahead and move on to our PTA caucus representative, Laura Safa.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Safa. I'm your PTA caucus representative. Casey Klein is with us too, and she is the alternate rep for Arizona. We've been busy this year. We've both attended CSM in February, including the PTA town hall meeting. We've attended the PTA caucus meeting virtually, of course, since the COVID situation, but that was May 30th and 31st, and the House of Delegates June 1st through the 3rd. And then we recently also had a PTA town hall meeting on September 29th that we both attended. So we've been busy with lots of activities with the PTA caucus. We also, in Arizona, we were hearing some rumors about PTAs being let go. And so I surveyed PTAs locally, and Casey has surveyed them nationally regarding employment status due to COVID and impending reimbursement changes. And then Casey was able to present on COVID and other practice issues affecting the PTAs locally for the district meeting on July 16th. And she also did a presentation nationally for APTA on September 3rd. And also the PTA caucus is currently working collectively to achieve a strategic goal to generate involvement opportunities for PTAs at the chapter, section, and national levels by achieving at least 500 engagements by 2020 House of Delegates. We are using a Stephen Covey model called the 4 Disciplines of Execution, or 4DX, which includes the wildly important goal that I just mentioned, individual objectives, a scoreboard, and weekly check-ins for accountability. And currently we have achieved 470 engagements collectively across the United States. And that is my report.
Thank you both, Laura and Casey. You guys are incredible. You bring so much energy, passion, and enthusiasm to the board. And we're just excited for everything that we can accomplish together. So thank you guys for all your work on our behalf. So we'll move forward to the federal affairs report. Phil Tygell actually submitted a written report and just gave me notice prior to the meeting that he would be unable to attend. So my apologies. However, I wanted to point out that Phil, as we've alluded to with Dr. Roush and Blair and everybody else, we truly stand on the shoulders of giants here in Arizona. Phil's the 2019 Federal Affairs Leadership Award recipient for the entire nation. And he just does a tremendous, tremendous job, organizing our federal advocacy efforts. So you guys can look over his written report in the membership packet. Please do note that we have one key contact space available. So if anybody is interested in participating, please reach out to myself or Krista. We would be happy to get you set up and on board with Phil. It's a tremendous learning experience. It's going to be a really exciting year this year in 2021, because the federal advocacy meeting is going to be held in conjunction with the annual gala in September in Washington, D.C. So it'll be a first time and should be a wonderful, wonderful event. So anybody that is interested, please do reach out to us. We'll put you in contact with Bill and get you set on the federal advocacy portion of this. The other thing that is probably of significant concern to many of us in this meeting is that CMS is currently proposing a 9% decrease in Medicare reimbursement. It is not specific to physical therapists. There's actually 13 professions facing a similar type cut. There is some CMS mandates that require them to have somewhat of a neutral budget. So these cuts are intended to help increase reimbursement for primary care physicians and offset the primary care physician shortage. So APTA National is working extremely hard. They have a Fight the Cut advocacy effort going on right now. So if you haven't already done so, log on to the APTA webpage, write your legislatures, and please do everything you can to support the opposition of this potential cut. So anybody have any questions or concerns in regards to federal advocacy? All right. If no one has any further questions in regards to that, we'll move on to the district representatives. I know that Dr. Suzanne O'Neill is on, and we'll turn it over to her to give a District 1 representative update.
Okay, I hope you all can hear me because I'm traveling back from Flagstaff, so I keep getting in and out. And District 1, yeah, so we had a very slow start as most
Hey, Suzanne, I think we probably lost you as you're in your travels there. We'll see if we can get you back, but in the meantime, perhaps we can move on to District 3
virtual meetings. It has been, you know, we went from an average, on a good day to, I think our first Virtual Live has been amazing.
Guys, I apologize. I don't want to interrupt Suzanne, but perhaps I can give you a little update of her District 1 activities, and then we'll move on to Jefferson in District 3. I believe Suzanne was saying that District 1 started off the year really, really well. And unfortunately, the coronavirus pandemic kind of put a halt to all of that. They have been hosting online district meetings. The first one was July 16th. And we were lucky enough to have Casey Klein, PTA, talk to us about physical therapist assistance outlooks. September 2nd, they had another meeting regarding physical therapy assistance in telehealth. And that was John Vargas, Michael Corner, and Kenneth Johnson. So thank you to all those people for speaking. And yeah, we have already acknowledged it in the PTA caucus rep report, but wanted to acknowledge Casey Klein's presentation on a national level with APTA in regards to PTA outlook and issues. So hopefully we'll have lots of things planned for District 1 in the future. Suzanne's been doing a great job there, and we look forward to our next District 1 representative carrying that tradition forward. So Jefferson, do you have anything to add for District 3?
District 3, we held a couple in-person meetings in the beginning of the year. One of them was like a social, and then the other one was just another kind of CEU course. Our attendance is generally pretty limited in the East Valley, and I am hoping that we can change that and see more participation. I know part of that has been on me since COVID hit. I haven't been as active in like getting things going. I've been kind of consumed by keeping things afloat in my business because we took a hit and have had therapists contract COVID and different fires to put out. But I'm motivated and excited to finish the year off right. But I'm looking for anybody who would like to speak or participate, maybe hold one of these Zoom meetings, please contact me directly and we can get you set up and get going on that. But for sure, we'll finish the year off strong and hopefully we'll see how 2021 goes. So.
Thank you, Jefferson. And we'll turn it over to Southern District, District 4 Rep Jennifer Zuha.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay, Brian?
Yes, thank you.
I am your District 4 representative, so I'm down in Southern Arizona. We started off like everybody. We had 2 in-person meetings in January, February on POTS, and then current outcomes techniques on total hip and total knee patients. We had great attendance in person with nearly 50 clinicians at each meeting. Then once COVID started, we changed everything to new technology for Zoom webinars. So it's been a great learning process for me. My 3rd grader teaches me quite a bit actually on how to manage Zoom stuff. So I think these meetings are going really well. We've had great attendance, and the nice part is whatever topic that we set up, everybody in the entire state can attend. So again, we're not limited now just to Southern Arizona. We can access everyone in the state that wants to attend our district meeting. So we've run webinars on oral fascial pain, COVID-19, nutrition, review of statutes regarding supervision and documentation. We did another POTS webinar since that was so well attended before, and also on cycling. We've again had good turnout, so I will continue to work on the webinars, maybe do some in this scenario in more meeting format so we could see each other, or we'll stick with webinars. We'll try a little bit of both, I think. We do have a couple ones that are already on the books. There's 2 of them coming up in October, Tucson and Beyond, current emergency physical therapy climate. So you're looking at emergency room department, which will be fabulous. And then systemic manual therapy and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And then District 1 and I are going to coordinate a pediatric-based one for November that's up and coming on school-based physical therapy. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And Kara, District 5.
Hi. So just like everyone else in the beginning of 2019, we held a one in-person meeting with Lori Kronberger on population health and current health care issues. And then we had to suspend the other planned in-person meetings. And unfortunately, those guest speakers didn't feel comfortable transitioning to a Zoom platform. So we've lost a little bit of ground there. And, with the George Floyd killing, we really took it upon ourselves to consider diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that's been a focus for all of us, but especially myself. And so I'm working toward incorporating DEI framework with other participants in the association, and hoping to provide some Zoom events in the near future with a focus on diversity. And I have been reaching out to potential guest speakers, but I haven't had any commitments yet. So if anyone would like to be a guest speaker to showcase diverse offerings in Northern Arizona, please reach out to me or anyone else in any other district. I'm sure we'd all love to hear from anyone in that area. So that's about it.
All right. Thank you, Kara. And thank you to all the district reps. As we've said before, this has been a tough year and you guys have just excelled in offering the Zoom format and getting out and communicating with our members. And I'd just like to take a second to publicly acknowledge Jennifer, because Jennifer, you've just done an amazing job and we appreciate all your efforts. You've also assumed the role of managing the PAC. And so we look forward to having you continue with us and keeping everybody moving forward. So thank you all for your efforts. We truly appreciate it. So as we move forward into new business, I think all of you guys have kind of seen the APTA National logo. the Arizona chapter has elected to kind of coincide with the national rebrand. And so you can see the new logos there. We'll be falling in line with the APTA national rebrand. And,
Oh, those logos suck.
And, you know, with the remainder of the year from October to December, we'll be converting our websites and things of that nature to reflect such. So we look forward to aligning with APTA National as we move forward into the next 100 years. And hopefully that'll be a good thing for everyone. So since you guys were willing to kind of rearrange the order, we'll skip the remainder of the bylaws conversation. In the September 2020 issue of the Direct Current, Krista sent out a list of all names of people who had membership pins. Those pins will be mailed to you since we don't have the opportunity to do any in-person meetings. But we had well over 200 people recognized by APTA National for member anniversaries ranging from 5 to 3 people with 65 years of professional service in the APTA. So I just wanted to, one, thank you all for your membership and acknowledge those people. And well, I hope I make it another 45 years to get to that point. So my hat goes off to you, and we appreciate you guys all. So as Kara alluded to, the executive board unanimously approved the formation of a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee. We're currently working with APTA National on getting a framework for that committee to support all issues related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Not, you know, just on the chapter level, but getting Arizona involved on a national level as well. I'd like to publicly recognize Kara for serving as the board liaison to this committee, for Seth Peterson, Kimberly Bernardo, Ronald Peacock, and Taiwo for their contributions. I wanted to point out a couple things that were happening on a national level. The APTA Celebration of Diversity is hosting a virtual gala. It's free of charge for anybody that's interested. It's October 15th through the 17th. There's a number of excellent speakers and a number of virtual events that you could attend free of charge. APTA National is also hosting a number of DEI discussions via the Facebook Live platform, with the next occurring October 22nd for anybody that may be interested. So, anybody have any questions or concerns in regards to that? All right. We'll go ahead and move on to the Arizona Awards recognition. We have several awards to give out this year. Arizona is just an amazing, amazing chapter to be a part of. I can't believe the names of the people that are on this meeting right now. I can't believe the people that work so hard on our behalf. It's truly been my pleasure to work with you and to learn from you. And I thank you for all that you've done on behalf of PT and PTAs across the state of Arizona. So, you know, these awards are of incredible significance given the rich history that Arizona has. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and announce the 2020 PT of the Year, the 2020 PTA of the Year, the 2020 Arizona Chapter Emerging Leader Award, and then a very, very special award, the Pauline Wampler Service Award. So our 2020 PT of the Year for this year is Dr. Dan Roan. He's board certified in orthopedics. He's a fellow of the American Academy of Orthopedic Manual Physical Therapists. He's earned a transitional DPT and a doctorate of sciences in orthopedics. He's got over 75 peer-reviewed publications and has been awarded over $13.5 million in federally funded grants. He currently serves on a national level as vice president of the AOMP Board of Directors and has also been appointed to the Department of Veteran Affairs National Research Advisory Council. He's also been extremely gracious since moving to Arizona with his time. He was a speaker at our NAU High Altitude Lecture Series and was also a presenter at our Arizona Physical Therapy Association Spring Conference meeting down in Tucson. So Dan, I'd just like to congratulate you You've been tremendous. Your contributions not only to the state of Arizona, but to the physical therapy profession in regards to the research and the promotion and advocacy for the physical therapy profession have been immeasurable. And we're just very, very fortunate and privileged to have you as part of our state association. So I know you're on the call. Dr. Roan, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Brian. I'm out camping, so I was glad I was able to get some reception. But thank you. I've just been really, really grateful for the extremely warm welcome that I've received here. I moved, for those of you that don't know, I moved here 3 years ago, but you know, my whole career has been moving around every few years as a member of the military, and so I've never really had a home state. And so now that I've retired from the military, I'm just really excited to call Arizona home, and I have no plans of moving at all. And so I just really look forward to continuing to be a part and contribute to this organization. I'm grateful for all the members up here in Flagstaff that have made me feel very welcome just from day one. And it's just a very welcoming organization and a group to be a part of. And I hope that I can, you know, continue to bring meaningful contributions in the future. So thank you.
Thank you, sir, and congratulations on behalf of the association. And thanks for taking the time out of your camping trip to join us. We truly appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries.
All
It's an
right.
honor.
Thank you. And Laura Safa?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. If you don't mind, I'd like to turn it over to you to award the 2020 PTA of the year.
Yes, thank you so much. So join me in congratulating Laura Allen. She has been a PTA for 15 years, and for the last 9 years, she has been teaching and is the PTA Director of Clinical Education at Pima Medical Institute. Laura has been instrumental in getting more PTA student involvement in the Student Special Interest Group and the Core Ambassador Program. She was elected and served as the PTA Caucus alternate from 2015 to 2016, and the PTA Caucus representative from 2016 to 2019. During her tenure as PTA Caucus rep, she mentored the alternate rep, which is me, and numerous new reps from other states. She also served as the PTA Special Interest Group co-chair and assisted Danielle Jensen with coordinating the first ever Trike It community event. The PTA SIG created the Trike event to support adults with disabilities and promote movement, independence, and function, no matter where they are in their recovery process. The proceeds from that event went to a PTA Special Interest Group scholarship for graduating PTA students toward the cost of the board exam. Thank you, Laura, for your dedication to students and the profession.
Congratulations, Laura. She obviously did a great job mentoring her PTA Caucus rep replacement. So we're thankful for that. Our 2020 Arizona Chapter Emerging Leader Award is none else but Dr. Seth Peterson. I know the emerging leader is supposed to be someone that has tremendous potential, but I think we would be doing Seth a disservice if we didn't say he was already a tremendous leader, period. It was my sincere honor to nominate Dr. Peterson for his contributions to our state association. In just a short period of time, he's already a board certified clinical specialist in orthopedics. He's a fellow of the American Academy of Orthopedic Manual Physical Therapists. He's a private practice owner in Tucson, Arizona. He's a published researcher in Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy, Journal of Manual and Manipulative Physical Therapy. He is just a tremendous, tremendous physical therapist and an even better person. He serves as a delegate on our Arizona delegation, and he's also the chair of our Arizona CEU committee, which has been extremely busy this year with the transition to more virtual courses. So Seth, I'm just flattered to be able to give you this award and to acknowledge you publicly for all of your work on behalf of the association. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure, yeah, thank you for the kind words, Brian, and for this nomination. So I think maybe two things. I know this is the early career award, so looking back, I guess I'd like to thank the association for giving younger physical therapists the opportunity to contribute. I think young PTs do have the opportunities in the state association and really have good perspectives on a lot of issues. So thank you for that. And to the young PTs who might be on the call, I think hopefully you guys can take a look at some of the opportunities that exist, and you know, we want you to step up and contribute. So again, thank you, Brian. It's been an honor.
Yeah. All right.
Brian,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. I think Laura Allen is present. I don't know if you want to back up a second just to see if she wanted to say anything.
Yes, absolutely. My apologies, Laura. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
Sorry about that.
No worries. I just wanted to thank you. I'm very humbled. I had some great leaders to follow, and great mentors that taught me so much more about my profession. That makes me glad to have met everyone and got the opportunities that I've had too. So I hope I can continue to get people involved in the chapter and continue to watch it grow. So I appreciate it, and I'm very honored. Thank you.
Again, my apologies, Laura. I didn't see you there, and thank you for all your contributions, and so yeah, appreciate it. I'll turn it over to Dr. John Hike for the presentation of our chapter's highest award.
Well, as past president, immediate past president, I'm one of the wonderful things of being president is to award individuals in my term that have gone unrecognized in the past. And I think that was, of all the things that I did, I'm most grateful and honored to be in this position. So I'm deeply honored specifically to have nominated and to award Cynthia Driscoll for the Pauline Wampler Award. As you may know, the Pauline Wampler Award is the highest privilege award the Arizona Physical Therapy Association provides, and recognizes the efforts of our previous executive director that for years and years have helped shape many of us on this call and be in the position that we're in right now. Pauline Wampler was an outstanding individual and was just as passionate about our profession as we are. As you know, Cynthia received, maybe you know this because the background is she's received several awards that I'll bring forward. Received her Bachelor's of Science in Health Science and Physical Therapy at the University of Missouri a few years ago. Cynthia has worn lots of different hats in serving our profession and our patients ultimately in Arizona. Specifically, she's served as the Arizona chapter president. She has served as the chief delegate. She's served as a delegate. She's served as the past president of the Arizona State Board of Physical Therapy. She's a founding member of PTPN, the Arizona Physical Therapy Provider Network. And of course, she has a successful business, Carefree PT, and that she started in 1987. In 2018, I had the privilege to award and to nominate and award Cynthia for the APTA State Legislative Leadership Award and to celebrate her success in this. Her dedication, her tireless work ethic towards improving our profession of physical therapy is outstanding. I can't say much more beyond that. Her mastery of remaining calm, showing respect for individuals with opposing views, and approaching every issue that I have seen with enthusiasm cannot be duplicated in our state. As immediate past president, I'm in awe all the time of Cynthia's accomplishments. And in this, I want to recognize Pauline Wampler and the Pauline Wampler 2020 Award. And I'd also like to open the floor for a couple of minutes to our members to add any comments because many of you have witnessed the works that Cynthia has provided our profession and our patients for years and years and years. So with that, I'll open it up for other comments.
I'll jump in just a moment, John. I think I was Cynthia's first employer when she came to Arizona, and she was destined for stardom in our profession and in our association from the beginning. Just jumped right in, was very active, and I've had a chance to work with her in a delegation standpoint, board, the legislative committee, and there isn't a finer member of our chapter. So congratulations, Cynthia, well earned.
John, I'll jump in too. I had the honor of serving on the board when Cynthia was president, and I mean, just a true leader. I think you captured her so well in your words. Well deserved.
This is Jennifer Zuha. Just many thanks, Cynthia, for the amount of hours and effort you put in for state government affairs. I don't think our state would be where it is today without you.
Well, Brian and everyone, thank you so much for the recognition and for your kind words. The one thing you forgot to say is that it's an awful lot of fun to do all that work. So that's my message of encouragement to new members and younger members. Find the topic that you're most interested in and jump in and have fun with it over the years of your career. Arizona is a great chapter to be a part of and to contribute. I had many, many good mentors along the way. And Blair, you were the second employer, not quite the first. That was Good Samaritan Hospital. But lots of good support along the years, and lots of wonderful people to learn from and to work with. So the future's bright and plenty of work still for everyone coming up the ladder. Thank you. I would say just a word too about a special relationship with Pauline Wampler. Our younger members don't know Pauline as our longstanding executive director, but she was someone who was supportive in any number of great ways and dearly loved the profession of physical therapy and gave us a lot of her time and energy over the years. So it's always nice to remember Pauline and think about her. Thanks.
It just doesn't feel like a virtual meeting like this does it justice. I wish you could, hear the standing ovation and just feel our most sincere gratitude for everything that you've done for us, Cynthia. Not just the association, but me personally. I just echo the comments of John and Blair and Carl and everybody else. We truly appreciate everything you've done on our behalf. So I'll turn this over to Tammy and Kim, who are members of our Student Scholarship Committee, to announce the winners of the PT and PTA Scholarship Awards this year.
All right, so we have 3 PT students who are receiving awards this year. Abigail Wright, she has an extensive service resume, including being class rep, and she played an active role in the Go Big for Parkinson's events as a course guide and field games chair, and has participated in numerous other events, such as the 3-day Parkinson's disease retreat, Boxing for Parkinson's program, and is part of the medicine team at the Flagstaff Pro Rodeo and Special Olympics. And she did all of this while maintaining a stellar top GPA. Her career goals include becoming a board-certified neurologic clinical specialist, obtaining her certified strength and conditioning specialist certification, adaptive sports certification, and opening a combined PT clinic and medical gym. So that's Abigail Wright. Our next recipient is Ashley Kaufman. Ashley was the chair of the volunteer committee for her class. Programs that she's volunteered include Connect to STEM, the Show Foot Clinic, Street Medicine for Phoenix, and Crossroads Substance Abuse Center. Her research study regarding exoskeletons for children who have cerebral palsy has allowed her to work interprofessionally with graduate students from ASU and U of A. After graduation, Ashley wants to pursue a sports residency program to become board certified in sports physical therapy. She also wants to combine her bachelor's degree in business management with her DPT degree to start a non-for-profit physical therapy clinic in developing country. Before PT school, she did follow a PT in Peru, treating children in an orphanage, and this has made a profound impact. Our third recipient is Jamie Tarrin. Jamie leads the board of the NAU DPT Interview Committee and serves on the Inter-Campus Committee. She's an active member of the Go Baby Go and works as an early childhood habilitation provider. She also provided pro bono services in Rocky Point, Mexico. She's presented at several research events and symposiums, a pilot study looking at the impact of exercise on mental health of adults with developmental disabilities. And Jamie wants to pursue a pediatrics residency program and become involved in the Academy of Pediatric PT. One of her career goals is to join a fellow colleague in opening a pro bono clinic for adults with developmental disabilities whose insurance no longer covers PT services. So those are our 3 student PT award winners.
Thanks, Tammy. We have 2 student physical therapy assistant award recipients, and the first one is Lisa Schilling. Lisa has a deep love and dedication for the profession of physical therapy, demonstrated through her high GPA and her desire to be a leader in her cohort. She has facilitated collaboration in her class by organizing study sessions, as well as creating a virtual platform through an easily accessible app that connected students and encouraged learning. She plans to pursue a bachelor's degree in kinesiology or exercise science while working as a PTA. She has a passion for dance and hopes to create movement programs centered around dance for specific populations, with the long-term goal of creating a special interest group specific to dance as an intervention in the APTA. Our second recipient is Stacy Olson. Stacy's past academic achievements, her passion for learning, and her high GPA are evidence that she is a lifelong learner committed to providing quality care for her future patients. She enjoys serving her community, most recently volunteering at a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school's youth camp. Her future goals include treating patients with Parkinson's disease and becoming a certified LSBT BIGS PTA, becoming a health coach, and combating the opioid crisis through patient education specific to physical therapy interventions. Please join me in congratulating our PT and our PTA award recipients this year.
Thank you so much, Tammy and Kimberly, for your work on behalf of the scholarship committee. Many people don't know, but we had nearly 30 applicants for these scholarship awards. I mean, you can tell by the background of these young people that not only is our future in tremendous hands, but that was an extremely difficult decision. So congratulations to the award winners. Thank you both for your service. You're 2 of many members on that committee. And thank you especially to the Arizona Physical Therapy Directors Group, whose education series in large part drives the scholarship funds available to those students. So we'd be remiss if we didn't publicly acknowledge them. I also wanted to point out, as you may have seen in some of our email communications, there are 2 upcoming education series events being held by the Arizona Physical Therapy Directors Group. For anybody who's had the privilege of taking one of Tim Fearon's courses, you know that they're the best, that they can't get any better than that. So October 15th, Tim will be presenting, and then November 12th, there will be a presentation on COVID-19 neurological manifestations. So if you want to know a little bit more about what post-COVID rehab looks like, you know, we've got a couple physicians that are going to present on that. So please take a look at those events and support the Physical Therapy Directors Group if at all possible. So, all right. It's our distinct pleasure as the Arizona Physical Therapy Association Executive Board to acknowledge Casey Klein, PTA, as the 2021 Centennial Scholar Program Award recipient. For those of you guys that don't know, Casey is currently serving as our PTA caucus representative alternate. She's been heavily involved on not just a state, but a national level. She is a tremendous contributor to our executive board, and I know she's on the phone call right now. So I'd like to open it up to both her and Laura to see if they would like to have any words on behalf of being awarded the Centennial Scholar Program.
Thank you so much. Hopefully you can hear me. Thank you so much for this honor. I'm so excited to get involved, and I'm so excited to kind of dive in and jump into this. And I really look forward to learning more about the association, becoming a leader, and really getting our voice out there, not only for Arizona, but for physical therapist assistants, and kind of be the shining light towards PTAs and our involvement to the profession, to the association. And so I just am so honored that I get to be a part of this. And thank you so much for all of the support from the board, from Laura Safa for mentoring me and pulling me in, and Laura Allen before her, so for setting a precedent. So thank you so much for this honor.
Laura, do you have any additional words?
I would just like to say I'm really honored that Casey was chosen. I mean, we did have a very difficult decision to make with this Centennial Scholar Program, but I feel like she's going to do an amazing job for our profession and our state. She just started as the alternate rep, and she's just gung-ho ready to take on whatever we give her and then some. And so I'm excited to, I mean, she's shown her leadership, and this is only going to make it that much better. So I'm honored to have to be a part of mentoring her and getting her to be, you know, a bigger leader in our profession. So.
Yeah. Congratulations, Casey. We're honored to have you. We don't think we could have had a better applicant, and we know you're going to accomplish tremendous things on behalf of the association in the future. So yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. The next thing on the agenda, next item, is the election results. I don't know any other way than to just kind of forward, as I just did with Casey's big deal. So I apologize, Laura. I had hit next and kind of ruined that for you. But the 2020 Arizona elections results, the people elected were for District 1, Miss Letha Zook; District 3, Jefferson Home; District 5, Kara Tate; and then the 3 delegates selected were Kimberly Vernado, Lori Perlmutter, and Jefferson Home. So they'll be joining our current Arizona delegates in the House of Delegates next year. And we thank you. We look forward to working with our district representatives on the executive board, and we look forward to everything that our Arizona delegates can accomplish in the House of Delegates next year. So at this time, we're getting ready to move forward into some new business. I know that Dr. Ferris had proposed some conversations surrounding the funding of Special Olympics. Dr. Ferris, would you like to discuss that further? All right, if Dr. Ferris is no longer on the call, we did have one member proposed motion come to the board prior to the meeting. This motion came from Adi Halili down in Tucson, who's been very active in the District 4 Zoom meetings, and we appreciate his time and efforts on behalf of the association. But he has sent forward a proposed member motion directing the executive board to form a task force that will explore and pursue action to lift the 15 visit limit as stated under the 4th provision of the access code there. This task force would include appropriate existing board and committee members, as well as any willing volunteers from this chapter. There is a complete review of this proposed member motion in your membership meeting packet. And at this time, I know Adi is on the call. If you would like to speak in support of this motion, Adi, the floor could be yours.
Okay, thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I mean, this is a situation that's been around for a long time. It was somewhat mitigated by adding 15 additional habituation visits. But unfortunately, there's a small group of patients that are severely compromised, but not yet qualified for Medicare, that basically fall in between the cracks because of that rule. So from a financial standpoint, that should not be a huge impact on the state. However, looking at the legislation and how access is funded, it can possibly cause a situation where there's a discrimination that is not allowed by the funding rules and the American with Disability Act, the discrimination between patients that have mild conditions and patients that have much more severe conditions. So what I thought was is to form a task force to explore either lobbying effort, for legislative changes, or administrative changes, or even litigation to mitigate this discrepancy and to help those, maybe small group, but highly vulnerable patient population. So that's my reasoning for this motion.
Thank you, Adi. Would anybody else like to speak either for or against the proposed member motion?
Brian, this is Cynthia Driscoll. I support the concept of the motion, and this is an item that has already been in discussion with the State Government Affairs Committee. We actually last summer had discussed putting forward a meeting with the new Director of Access who was coming on. But like many things last year, we got interrupted by COVID. So certainly Access and the Department of Health Services attention and priorities shifted from routine business, such as the rules for access, and dealt more immediately with the public health emergency. So again, this has been on our radar. The Dorn Policy Group is aware of our concern with this as a regulatory restriction. And I think the concept of having more member input to the State Government Affairs Committee could move this project along rather quickly.
Thank you for your comments, Cynthia. Anybody else?
Question for Cynthia and Adi. Would, rather than a task force, would just a referral of this issue to the appropriate state governmental affairs or political action be better?
Let me answer this first, and then Cynthia can answer. I'm fine with either action. The reason I propose as a task force is mainly from derived from past trauma when I try to put motion to the membership in the business meeting and everybody want to go home. So at least I wanted to have some sort of a follow-up in that sense, but I'm all for the regular committees looking into this issue. And I think I mentioned in the motion, if you guys can read it, what are my thoughts on the legal pathways to do this as well as regulatory. So I'm not opposed to that.
Adi, we truly appreciate you bringing this to the membership and creating the conversation. And Cynthia, thank you for your feedback. It does require a vote of the membership. I do have a poll created, Cynthia, in response to this. So again, I just want to review the proposed member motion if no one else would like to comment on this. The chapter directs the executive board to form a task force that will explore and pursue action to lift the 15 visit limit. This task force would include appropriate existing board and committee members, as well as any willing volunteers from this chapter. A yes vote will task the executive board to explore and pursue action to lift the 15 visit limit referenced above. A no vote will not task the executive board to explore and pursue action to lift the 15 visit limit referenced above. Krista, could you go ahead and open the poll for us, please? Krista, I see you.
People are voting, Brian.
Okay, perfect.
Are you not getting the?
Mm-mm.
Huh, okay. Yeah.
Hey, Brian, while folks are voting, just let you know I am here, so.
Thank you, Dr. Ferris. We'll open up for new business as soon as this one's finished there. Thank you.
Yep. Call me Jim, please, man. You make me feel old.
No problem. Krista, whenever you feel like we've received an appropriate number of votes, go ahead and let us know.
I'm gonna give it another 20 seconds to get your votes in. I think everyone has voted that can vote.
Beautiful.
I can
Again,
I'll go ahead and end the poll. I'm sorry.
no problem. Again, Adi, thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. And again, I don't see there being any reason why we wouldn't pursue that. It's nice to know that the conversation has at least already been initiated on a state legislature level, and we'll follow up with the Dorn Policy Group based on the results of the vote there and move forward. So thank you again, we appreciate it. Dr. Ferris, would you like to address the Special Olympics funding? Jim?
Sure. Thank you, Brian. Just so y'all know, I'm a state director for the Special Olympics, the Fun Fitness program, which is part of the Healthy Athletes program. I'm also the Southwest Regional Director for Special Olympics for Fun Fitness also. And I guess the ask would be some funding money for this program. It was developed by the APTA, and the APTA partnered with Special Olympics to run the Fun Fitness nationally. Here in Arizona, we are one of the leading states in the nation. Arizona and Florida have the largest Fun Fitness or Healthy Athletes program, I'm sorry. Fun Fitness is part of that programming. And it's all for PTs and PTAs. So it's, the AZ PTA has been or the PTs and PTAs in Arizona have been a great help. We need PTs and PTAs to be there so that we can also have students there working with these Special Olympic athletes. The funding that I would ask for would be to help with the supplies that we need, a number of measurement devices that we use, as well as some swag gifts for the Special Olympic athletes that come through the programming. There's 2 large events each year, and we're able to serve anywhere between 150 and 200 athletes at each event. The more PTs and PTAs we have there, the better. So I said I had a number in mind earlier. Is now the time to bring it up, Brian?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, so somewhere in probably I'm thinking in the minimum of the $2,000 range would keep all of our equipment top notch. We have a couple of treatment tables that are beginning to look a little bit shabby, and they're and so that would, on an annual basis, that would keep us being able to replace equipment that breaks and to or becomes overused. The other thing I need to bring up is that they do have sponsorship levels that the events can be co-branded. So the Arizona PT Association could have their branding right along with Special Olympics Arizona and Fun Fitness. Those levels start, and they'll have to work with you on this, but I believe they start at about $7,500 a year. So that's quite a big jump from my initial ask, but I think the 2,000 would be a great donation to help, keep things upgraded and keep things going. Not only do we serve about 300 of the athletes every year in those 2 events, but at each of those events, there's about 30 students from the physical therapy and physical therapist assistant programs around the state that participate. And so it's a great learning opportunity for the students at the same time that we're serving the Special Olympic athletes. I don't know what to do now, man.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jim, for bringing that up. I don't know if this is an instance where we require a formal vote. Obviously, finances this year present a certain challenge to us, but I think it's certainly something that I can take to the board and perhaps get back to you on after our next board meeting. We will be meeting at middle to end of October after this meeting. And so perhaps I can put that to a vote with the board and maybe look back at that 2021 budget in principle and determine whether or not we have excess revenue from this year to contribute moving forward, or whether or not we can find room in the budget for it for next year. But I do appreciate you bringing that to our attention. And based on the feedback I'm seeing in the chat, looks like something that our members would be extremely interested in participating in.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I know the athletes, they appreciate everything that we do for them. They're a great crew to work with. So.
What a wonderful organization, and thank you for your service to Special Olympics. All right. Does anybody at this time have any additional new business to present?
Brian, I'd like to just take a moment. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the passing of Dick Borden this last summer, who was one of those foundational giants of our chapter. He passed away in Logan, Utah, where they spend the summertime. I talked to Donna a couple of days after that. But Dick came here from the University of South Carolina and started the first PT program at Flagstaff. I'll just share a couple of memories of many. You know, I think I was in the House of Delegates with Dick when I made my first motion in the House. And Dick had drafted the motion for political reasons. He didn't want to do it. So he talked to me as a young delegate into doing this. And it was the motion that separated CAPTI, from control of the House of Delegates. And so that was a significant motion. And Dick was a mentor to me. The other time I was chapter president, and Dick came and picked me up, and we drove to Tucson for a meeting with the Board of Regents. And I watched Dick and his skill as he lobbied the board for the transition from the baccalaureate program to the master's program. And there are just many, he was so foundational. I know that Don will be back in Arizona at some point later this month, and I think there's going to be some type of a memorial service. And Carl, do you know anything about that? Unmute.
I don't know the date, Blair, but I know that it's in planning. I was just trying to find my unmute button there, but I know it's in planning. I can't agree with you anymore. I had a tremendous opportunity to be mentored by him. I consider him one of my greatest mentors. I had the opportunity to drive a long time ago. There were only two districts in this state, a northern district and a southern district, and Flagstaff, we drove down to Phoenix for every northern district meeting. And so I had a lot of late night drives with him going back and forth to Phoenix for district meetings. I think his son-in-law captured him the best. He knew a lot about a lot. He just was a leader in so many ways. So I appreciate you bringing up a tribute at this meeting to him.
My privilege.
Anybody else have any stories or tributes, acknowledgements to Dr. Borden that they'd like to share? All right. Anybody have any additional information or business they'd like to bring forth to the association? All right. Well, on behalf of the Arizona chapter of the American Physical Therapy Association, I just want to say thank you so much to all the people on this call, for all the people willing to attend this meeting to help us achieve a quorum, to all the people who have made the best out of a very difficult year, and for the many people that we recognize today who have done tremendous, tremendous things on behalf of the physical therapy profession, on behalf of our state association. I'm humbled, I'm honored. It's a pleasure to be here before you, and I cannot thank the people enough that came before me. We're truly, truly blessed here in the state of Arizona to have tremendous leaders. And thank you to Krista for all of your work this year, everything that we've tasked you with. And thank you to the other members of the executive board for making the most out of a difficult situation. So Again, I don't know if thank you is enough, but thank you to everybody on this call, and thank you to all of our members. We truly appreciate you, and we wish you the best in the remainder of 2020, and look forward to everything that 2021 has to offer with the APTA Centennial celebrations. If there is anything that the board can do on your behalf, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. I have a little closing slide there with Krista's email address on there. So you can contact Krista at admin@aptaaz.com. And please, thank you very, very much. Please don't hesitate to reach out, and thank you all for your time today. We appreciate you.
Brian, we had the Amazon gift cards.
Oh, yeah.
So well, we
Yeah.
really can't do the drawing yet because I've got to put all the names that were here. So I will be doing a announcement for that, those 4 Amazon gift cards. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming. And we're really excited that those bylaws got passed. And well, so far we know that they are. We have to make sure unofficially. But I appreciate all of you being here and, you know, all that you do for the association.
Yeah. Congratulations to the award winners. Congratulations to the scholarship recipients. And on behalf of the association, thank you all again for everything that you do. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Brian. Bye, everyone.
Have a great day.